Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen 3.9.0. The alpha is apparently really close and going to first wave PTU soon, really soon, almost. Well, what does that actually mean though? Well, over the last couple of weeks, Cloud Imperium have been trying to resolve some stability and desync issues with the EVOCATI build of Alpha 3.9, and that has caused them to hold the patch back for wider PTU, in addition to the disruption caused by the global situation and Cloud Imperium working from home. Cloud Imperium said on Friday, as part of their live stream, that they are trying to get the first wave PTU out this weekend, if possible, and Xylo added to this on Friday evening, saying, a quick note, since I've got a lot of folks asking about Wave 1 PTU, we won't be going to Wave 1 tonight, as in Friday evening. As we mentioned in the live stream earlier, there is a chance we open it up over the weekend, and we'll keep you posted as soon as we have more information. This leaves us still waiting on the wider PTU for 3.9, but as soon as CIG have its blockers sorted and identified, cleared, all of that, whatever, it will go to the public-facing PTU with first wave. And Cloud Imperium has actually put out a little something in the newsletter about testing as well. Are you ready for it? The PTU is the last step before a live release and gives dedicated players access to the patch before everyone else. Access is available in waves, with most players being eligible for at least one of the rollouts. When you're in, all we ask is that you flag any bugs to the issue council so they can be rectified before launch. Alpha 3.9 is full of game-changing features, from a fully realised new Babbage to the Asperia Prowler, so do yourself and us a favour and get adventuring. PTU Wave 1 is imminent, so stay tuned. So it's good to mention that first wave PTU is going to be for the EVOCATI, RSI subscribers and concierge members, and then it gets rolled out to more people typically quite quickly after that. But Wave 1 testing that we're waiting for does allow content creators like me and other people to make videos and actually talk about those patches and patch notes, and then I can make the content I want to make on 3.9. Also in the newsletter, we had a teaser of mining consumables, which should be in Alpha 3.9. I should add some more depth to mining, I suppose. In the roadmap roundup and roadmap updates this week, adding to the lack of 3.9's frustration, there were some more disappointments on the roadmap, with features being pushed out of 4.0, the Q2 2020 patch. So let's talk about the features that have moved. Support for server meshing development has been highlighted as high priority across all involved teams. As a result, server meshing support work was prioritized and scheduled for Q2, resulting in server decline actor networking rework tasks being shifted back one quarter to Alpha 4.1. Obviously, that's a major update to the network code, and hopefully is going to fix a lot of persistent problems with desync and delay and lag, and is obviously a major part of server meshing and the general improvements that they're making to the core of the game. We should see it in 4.1 though, so we'll have to wait and see. And that could mean that server meshing is being really prioritized currently. Death animation improvements. Further work was required on the physics side of these improvements, and physics support priority was given to body dragging. While body dragging will maintain its intended release in Alpha 4.0, death animation improvements will be moved back one quarter to 4.1. Crusader and Orison landing zone. This is really disappointing for me, but we've had to move both Crusader and its landing zone Orison back to the end of the year, so that's 4.2, as the team required more time to create these locations. The reasons for this move are threefold. 1. The reprioritization with the focus on Grimhex and other environmental work in progress. 2. The additional time it took to complete new Babbage. And 3. Delays from transitioning to a new work-from-home environment due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As Alpha 4.2 is not yet visible on the roadmap, which will be the Q4 2020 patch, we will be removing these cards or features for the time being, but we expect them to resurface for the fourth quarter in the near future. This will also see the mission givers Lisa Gibbs and Devin Batista move to 4.2 as well, because they are part of the Orison landing zone there. Cloud Imperium did clear up the mysterious PvB bounty feature that was in 3.9. After confirming with the team working on this feature, we've determined that tasks included largely consist of preliminary work for bounty hunting improvements that are coming in a later quarter. This epic was not intended to be displayed publicly at this time, resulting in its removal from the roadmap. we expect to add additional bounty hunter themed cards in the future as front-facing features once they have decided on release dates. We do have some additional features for Alpha 4.0 though. Height map improvements. Updates are being made to all height maps used on planets and moons to fully take advantage of their higher resolution. This will mean more detail that can be utilized during their painting process. We'll have better looking planets and moons. That is a good thing. The Cutlass Blue, we expected it for 4.0. That's that police or militia patrol variant of the Drake Cutlass into the game. The blue one. There are two features that were also added that have caused a little bit of polarization in the community. Elevator panel updates. The utilitarian elevator panels are being updated to use interactable screens, as previously this was done through the Player Inner Thought, and New Babbage shop editions, introducing a novelty kiosk in New Babbage Spaceport interior, which will sell souvenirs and knickknacks. Also coming to the Spaceport is the Factory line, a flagship store for Microtech, which sells their top-of-the-line products, such as Mobiglass, SimPods, and various computer-related items. Now, the Factory line stuff, that actually makes a lot of sense and is very cool in my opinion. But the elevator panels are sort of like a little bit meme-worthy at the moment, as they're pretty minor as a feature, and we kind of already have them in-game. They just need to be updated for all the locations and ships. And we do have them in locations and the newer ships, but they need to update them. The shop additions have had some people complaining about the knick-knack shops, basically as a priority. I actually see this as more of a marketing failure of the description of the feature and the sort of timing of those features, because obviously there's been disappointment with a lot of stuff getting moved out of 4.0, like Crusader, and then people see there's a knick-knack kiosk that they might be a little bit annoyed. So if they had written it to say Stanton UI updates, sort of updating the legacy UIs of Stanton and the landing zones with the new interactive system, bam, that's instead of like elevator changes, and completing the new Babbage landing zone with additional shops that will allow customization eventually of HABs, ships, with flare items, etc. Great. But the Factory line stuff is actually pretty exciting for me, because that's potentially customization for your Mobiglass and different types of Mobiglass, but also some big active flare items, like being able to buy a SimPod and then put it in your ship or in your HAB will allow you to, you know, play Arena Commander or Star Marine or Theatres of War when it's out in-game, which is interesting and cool, you know, but it's all stuff that adds to the game, and I can totally understand the prioritization of a few devs to get certain tasks completed for zones and updating the UI so it's done, because they want to complete that Stanton system. Some people's hot takes will see the reason that Crusader has been delayed because they've reprioritized these features, but I don't think that's the case at all. Could we see Pyro pushed back to 2021 because of delays though? Well, it's certainly possible, as it looks like a lot of tasks might get shifted by a quarter. Not all of them, but maybe a third, because at the moment it looks like Cloud Imperium have lost about a month in sort of like terms of development due to the recent working from home stuff, and that's sort of understandable in part that some features are going to be slipping from 4.0 to 4.1, but it's still disappointing. I was talking to a couple of devs about Theatres of War actually recently, and they said that they've made huge progress on it and that testing should actually start reasonably soon. So as a content creator, very much looking forward to playing Theatres of War. It's something you can play on stream probably pretty easily as long as it's stable. In Star Citizen Live, the US Persistent Universe feature team gave us a little bit of tangible information as well, so I'll give a bit of a quick summary. Manual waypoints for quantum travel is something they want in the future, but they don't want the ability for you to quick blind jump away to avoid combat or something like that. It's going to be a little bit more plotted or planned or done via the star map or whatever. They are working on exploration mechanics, and you will have some freedom exploring. There are plans for long-range scanning, for example, and you'd scan points of interest and then travel to them, and then you could scan more points of interest and travel to them, and then you'd be able to like go out and explore into the much deeper unexplored areas, even on the edges of the Stanton system. There will be other ways for trading UEC and credits and stuff with players other than just service beacons, and we're going to see fuel requests added to service beacons next, apparently. Cargo and refinery decks are a whole new set of locations and assets. It's a big addition to stations, and you'll have cargo fees and times to load and unload as well with this, and you'll be able to rent cargo storage in those places too. They want to evolve the friend system to be able to quickly jump into a friend server and see where they are. So you'll be able to go, oh, they're on this planet, I can go join them there. Alpha 3.9 is a step towards that with the extended sort of unified friends list. And we also have a friends cap of 800 slots now as well, which is a lot of friends. Arena Commander is getting an update to allow for the rental of more gear as well. And we will see the ability for stolen ships and stolen gear to be sold in the future too. Items and shopping UIs will give more info in the future, so you have a better shopping experience. You can actually compare items a bit better. You can see the stats in a bit more detail, all diegetically given though. Ship stats pages are a bit broken at the moment when you go on the ship matrix on the website, so bear that in mind. They are looking for an automatic system to be able to pull ship data as and when it changes more accurately. And that's sort of it for the week's news this time. I do have a couple of other bits though, or at least one other bit. I have a Rust server that I've just put up. Rust is one of my favorite games, and I'm going to be giving away Star Citizen prizes for like a mixture of community building, but also trying to get more people participating on that server. It's just gone up. It will be wiped every month. There are more details on my discord.gg/BoredGamer, and the server is called BoredGamer UK. I'll put a link to more info on that in the description below as well. But I'd love to see people there blowing things up and building things and talking. We're looking at things like Mustang Alpha starter packages, stuff like that for Star Citizen, because it makes sense, because people that have Rust potentially but want to get Star Citizen at some point, it might give them a way of getting it. I don't know. I thought it was a good idea for a bit of community building. But what do you think about Alpha 3.9? Think we might have it at some point over the weekend? Are you disappointed by Crusader's landing zone and the netcode improvements moving from 4.0, or at least some of those netcode improvements that we mentioned? Although they are sort of making more progress on server meshing, which is a good thing, I suppose. It's an interesting situation. Do you think it's understandable, or are you sharpening your pitchfork? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. For April, we are giving away a Cutlass Black and Star Citizen game package. Just comment on any of my videos made during this month of April to be in for a chance of winning that. I am a shill for a couple of companies, NordVPN and NordPass. If you are looking for a VPN or a password management system, I recommend you check them out. They've got many benefits over free services, and as I'm pretty security conscious, I love those kind of services. Also, there's Shadow. If you are thinking about getting a new gaming rig or upgrading your gaming PC for Star Citizen or whatever, then consider Shadow instead. It is a internet cloud-based subscription service like Stadia, like GeForce Now, but this one gives you access to a full Windows 10 environment which is fully customizable, and that is significantly better in my opinion, allowing you to do a lot more with it. Check out the links below for them, or use the code BoredGamer for discount. Also, if you wish to support the channel further, there is Patreon, there's the YouTube join member button down below. That really helps. This is a community supported channel, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the support that I get. If you want to share these videos, if you want to comment, give feedback, whatever, that is also hugely appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.